Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. On this video, these are a few things to negotiate about. So I am going to be talking with you a bit more about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Then I'm going to be giving you the latest news regarding Jadon Sancho. And then I'm going to be giving you the latest news regarding Jack Grealish. So let's get on with the news regarding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So Solskjaer is targeting a brighter future with Manchester United after he secured Champions League qualification for next season. And definitely Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confounded his critics wrong because, like I said to you earlier on in the season, me and a lot of Manchester United fans were very, very critical of Solskjaer because earlier on in the season, we'd enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And Solskjaer, was very, very close to getting the sack. And we've also, finished third. And that is actually, a fantastic achievement for Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because let's put into the equation, this has been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season at the football club. And, he has been at the football club over a year and a half now. And I think he's been permanent Manchester United manager for around 15 or 16 months. So this will give us a lot of confidence now, going on into next season. Because I did say, didn't I, next season Solskjaer will have bigger expectations to exceed. I think our expectations next season will be to challenge for the Premier League title. Of course, we have got to spend money to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. I think our transfer budget for the summer transfer window has been revealed. We're going to get from 100 to 150 million pounds to spend. I think we get around an extra £70 million in revenue for getting qualification for the Champions League. But obviously, the summer transfer window is now open, like I said this morning, and it is open until October. Solskjaer did recently say that he's targeting around 5 players to overhaul the Manchester United squad. Solskjaer did say at the start of his managerial tenure that he wants to recommend around 9 players into the football club. He agreed this with Mike Phelan, and so far, Solskjaer has made 4 permanent signings at Manchester United, and so far, he spent just over £200 million at the football club. He's also got rid of a lot of players since he got recommended into the club as well. But like I said to you, Solskjaer has outlined his transfer plans after, Champions League qualification, and he has told our board to get his preferred targets. And I think also too, Gary Neville has urged Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to spend money in the summer transfer window. But we know this summer transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. Now, obviously, we've got one priority now, and that obviously, is the Europa League. Obviously, we're more or less into the quarterfinals of the Europa League because we are 5-0 up against Lask from the first leg. And of course, we play Lask in the second leg on the 5th of August. The quarterfinal draw of the Europa League, as you all know, has already been done. But I think we are emerged as one of the favourites to win the Europa League. And, if we can win the Europa League, that will be our first trophy under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Because we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years, and I think that's the first time since like the 1990s. We've only won 3 trophies in the last 7 years, and that was the Europa League and League Cup under Mourinho. That was in Jose Mourinho's first season, and won the FA Cup back under the Louis van Gaal era and that. But yeah, maybe Solskjaer is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Time will tell. He needs another season. I said even if we didn't get qualification for the Champions League, etc., etc., I said he still needs another season at Man United because it has been a transition period and it's been a transition period for a while. And let's put into the equation, the vast majority of this team is not Solskjaer's. Solskjaer's inheriting players even from the Jose Mourinho era. He's inheriting a few players even from the Van Gaal era. There's still Mattery from the David Moyes era. And there's still a few players even from the Ferguson era, but actually the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's and that. But like I said, since January, we've been in a good vein of form. We're unbeaten in our last 14 league games. The last league game we lost was to Burnley back in January. Don't forget, we also went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions, of course, until Chelsea beat us in the FA Cup semi-finals. But like I've said to you now, I've seen a lot of improvements under Solskjaer now. I think players have definitely improved, especially the top players. I think Solskjaer's decision making has improved, but maybe he slightly needs to still improve on it, because there's been a lot of games this season where Solskjaer's been very tactically inept. But on the other hand, in some games, Solskjaer knows decision making has been very, very good. I think our recruitment's been very, very good so far under Solskjaer. Because we have been criticised for several years, reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also been criticised for overpaying for players, and the blame stems from obviously, Ed Woodward. It also stems from the Glazers and that, because we've been very, very critical of Woodward and the Glazers for several years. I also do believe that throughout the course of this season, Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well, because the young players have been given their chances. We've done very, very well against the top six sides this season, because we've taken like a good 18, 19 points off the top six sides this season. So I've seen a hell of a lot of improvements under him. But I give you the main explanations why Solskjaer didn't get sacked earlier on in the season. That's because obviously, the signing of Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes has definitely made a difference in the team. Bruno Fernandes is our player of the season without a shadow of a doubt. Bruno Fernandes became the first Manchester United player to win back-to-back Player of the Month since Cristiano Ronaldo. Bruno Fernandes won Player of the Month for June, and he also won it for February. I think with Solskjaer being a club legend, that also played a part in it as well, because he was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance. I think that unbeaten run also played a part in it. But I think now, Solskjaer knows his best formation. As you know, a lot throughout the course of the season, Solskjaer went with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Obviously, I think he also knows his best 11, because don't forget, not too long ago, Solskjaer went with the exact same team for 5 games in a row in the Premier League, and that's the first time we've done that since 1993. But Solskjaer was saying prior to the game against Leicester, that the team have shown that they are going places, and he said, the players are progressing and all of that. But so Solskjaer can definitely see the improvements. We've had a lot of injuries throughout the course of the season, and reflect on that, Solskjaer's had to make rotation in the squad. Like I said, Rashford was out with a back injury earlier on in the season. I think Rashford was out for a good 5 months with that back injury. At the start of the season, Rashford didn't really make an impact, and since when the season resumed, I don't think he was too good either. This season, Rashford's been playing on that left-hand side. Like I said, Paul Pogba, he was out with an ankle injury earlier on in the season. And I said, there were very, very big misses for Man United. You could say earlier on in the season, if Pogba and Rashford were playing, then, would have been in a much better position earlier on in the season, than we were. I think now Paul Pogba's future's more or less been resolved, because now we've got that qualification for the Champions League. It will probably convince Paul Pogba to stay at the football club. Obviously, Paul Pogba in the last 3 or 4 games hasn't been at his best. I think towards the start of the resumption of the season, Paul Pogba made a fantastic impact. I think Paul Pogba will end up signing a new long-term contract at Man United, because Fabrizio Romano was talking the other week, and he said that Man United want to extend Pogba's contract, and it said with Paul Pogba's agent Mini Raiola, he's waiting for the offer. He said the other week that Paul Pogba was close to signing a 5-year contract at Manchester United, and that as it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. As you all know at the moment, Paul Pogba is our most expensive signing, because we did pay £89 million for him. Like I said, I think we've still got a few injuries at the moment. Luke Shaw's missed our last 4 games he's been out of an ankle injury. His last 3 or 4, I think it's the last 3 or 4 games he's missed. So Williams has been playing there ahead of him. Luke Shaw also missed the first part of the season due to injury as well. So Luke Shaw sustained a few injuries as a Man United player. Don't forget, Bay's been out of a head injury. He was also out earlier on in the season, was Eric Bay. My only element of concern about Bay is that he's injury prone. Diego Dalot was out with injury earlier on in the season. Also, too, McTominay was out injured earlier on in the season. So, too, was Anthony Martial. I've got to say regarding Anthony Martial, he's enjoyed a very, very good season under Solskjaer. This has been Martial's 5th season at the football club. And I think he's enjoyed 2 good years. He's done well this season under Solskjaer, like I said. And he did very, very well under the Louis van Gaal era. Martial has been playing in that central role this season. Mason Greenwood, he was recently out with an ankle injury. I think he's been fantastic for us this season. Obviously, for the more than half of the season, Mason Greenwood's appearances were coming from the bench. But after lockdown, Mason Greenwood was getting a hell of a lot of starts. And since then, Daniel James has dropped out. There's actually a possibility chance that we could loan Daniel James out for next season because Greenwood's now getting there ahead of him. But Greenwood's got 17 goals in all competitions this season. And of course, that game against Leicester was his 51st appearance for the football club. I think there's a few other injuries. We've got Tuan Zebe and Phil Jones there also out. Fossil Mensah, don't forget, was injured for a while as well. So we have had a lot of injuries throughout the course of this season and that. But I am definitely backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think now a lot of Manchester United fans are backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Don't forget, a few months ago, our financial figures had been revealed by Ed Woodward, and Woodward said that our net debt was just over 429 million, but he said our debt had risen up by almost 130 million pounds. Woodward said a couple of months ago that we will remain competitive in the summer transfer market, but he did say we won't do business as usual due to the coronavirus pandemic and all of that. But I think in this summer transfer window, we need to make at least 3 signings to be up there. Don't forget, Manchester United are the most successful team in England. We have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier League. So we are the most successful team in Premier League history. In that. But we've got to get the players that we want in the summer transfer window and that. And Solskjaer has got a decision to make on what players he's going to bring in. He's also got a decision to make on what players he's going to get rid of, because there's players that definitely need to leave Manchester United. He said a few weeks ago that we'd put around 6 players up for sale. I think we need to get rid of Lingard, despite the fact that he scored against Leicester. That was his first goal since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first game in charge. I think we also need to get rid of Sanchez permanently. I give you the news on Sanchez earlier on today. It says that Inter Milan are willing to offer us Perisic in a bid to keep Sanchez permanently. But if we get rid of Sanchez, it'll free up our wage bill completely. Hopefully we can get rid of Pereira, because Pereira isn't even getting in the team anyway. Phil Jones, get rid of him. Smalling, Rojo, get rid of them permanently. And I'd also like to see us get rid of Diego Dalot. Like I said, Solskjaer's got a goalkeeping decision to make. A lot of United fans are still convinced that David De Gea will remain our number 1 for next season. David De Gea has been our number 1 for several years. Obviously, this has been David De Gea's 9th season at Manchester United, and he is approaching his 10th year at the football club. Like I said to you before, David De Gea's had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at Man United, because in the last couple of years he's been a liability, reflecting on his calamitous mistakes. David De Gea has made 404 appearances for Man United in all competitions. He has won everything domestically at the football club, and he has won individual awards, reflecting on his good run of performances over the years. De Gea has been with us since 2011. Solskjaer was talking about him the other week, saying that, he's been the best goalkeeper in the world for the last 9 or 10 years. We probably did make a mistake by giving him that new 4-year deal last September, because he signed this 4-year deal with 375 grand a week. So David De Gea, highest paid goalkeeper in the world, I think. and highest paid at the football club. But possibly, Dean Henderson could be our number one next season. Sergio Romero won't be, because Sergio Romero is not reliable enough to become our number one as yet. So, we will see what happens regarding that. We will see what happens. Earlier on in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career, he had worked out his transfer strategy, and he said he wants to recruit young British talents to Manchester United, because 3 of the 5 players that Solskjaer's brought in so far are British. Like I said, Solskjaer's got a decision to make on around 8 players next year, because we have got around 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. But to be fair, we have extended a lot of players' contracts since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in to the football club. But I think we can get back to I think we can get back to being competitive under Solskjaer. This is, something I do believe. If it doesn't work out next season, then probably get rid of him and then recommend a manager in, probably with a proven pedigree, a manager, that will suit the strappings of the club. But I think, it is going to work out now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I really, really do. There's still aspects of our game that I've got to improve. Like I said, I've seen improvements, but there's still things we need to improve on. We need to keep the ball better. We need to be better on the flanks. Maybe we slightly need to be more clinical in front of goal. Maybe defensively, we need to look a bit better. But, these still deficiencies in the squad that do need to be addressed. Solskjaer's spoken with Ed Woodward a few times, and he's told Ed Woodward the areas where he wants to strengthen up the team. I think Solskjaer's looking to recommend the striker in. He's looking to recommend a winner in. I think he's looking to recommend a centre defensive mid, and he's also looking to recommend a centre half in, despite the fact that we have got 7 centre halves in the team. So there's still aspects of our game that do need to improve. Of course, in the last 7 years, Man United have been playing catch-up. Like I've said to you before, we've had different managers with different philosophies. We spent £900 million on players since the Ferguson era. Because obviously, under the Moyes era, we brought Fellaini and Juan Mata in. They're the only 2 players David Moyes signed. Wait there a second.
Trailer.
What?
They're clean.
Brother.
You don't need that on track. It's Swiss electric.
Alright.
Put that on the fire.
Alright. Like I said, they're the only 2 players that David Moyes had signed. Then under Van Gaal, we brought around 16 players into the football club. Obviously, we brought likes of Schneiderlin, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Falcao, Di Maria, Memphis Depay, Daley Blind, Rojo, Damian, Martial, Shaw, Herrera, Romero. So, brought a lot of players under the Louis Van Gaal era. And obviously, recommend 11 players in under the Jose Mourinho era. So people will say, reflect on the amount of money that Man United have spent, we should be, where Liverpool are, or minimum, where Manchester City are. But like I've said to you all before, we haven't dominated English football since the Ferguson era, because Ferguson endured 26 years at Man United, of course, endured 22 years of success, was it? Because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. So it just proves it takes some managers time to settle in and get things right. No one at the football club will replicate Ferguson's legacy. No one will last as long as Ferguson did. But like I've said, we can get back being competitive under Solskjaer, because Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We basically dominated the 90s and the 2000s up until 2013. Because I don't think in the 70s we was that good either. We had Franco Farrell, got relegated under him. Weren't good under Ron Atkinson. We certainly weren't good under Wilf McGuinness. He endured, 18 months at the football club and all of that. But, yeah. But like I said, we have got a pretty good squad. like I said, it was good enough to always finish in the Champions League, but I did say, as it stands at the moment, it's not good enough to win the league or challenge for the league, and this is why Manchester United do need signings. But when you're in Champions League, you can attract players to the elite level. You see, if we hadn't got Champions League, then I think, wouldn't have got the players that we did want in, and probably, and obviously, wouldn't have got that pay rise, obviously. So anyway, let's go delve into news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So today, reports have been coming from the German press saying that we've put our first bid in for Sancho, and I think we've put around an £89 million bid in. But reportedly, this bid has been turned down by Borussia Dortmund because Dortmund have come out and said that they want around £110 million. Throughout this transfer saga, Borussia Dortmund have remained ruthless over their valuation. We've said so many times we are not willing to smash our transfer record for the player. I think we've set our limit now. According to this report, they've said we're not willing to pay any more than 80 million for Sancho. At one point, it said we was only willing to pay £50 million for the player. I think actually, we are now convinced that Jadon Sancho will come to the football club. Now we're in the Champions League for next season. It said we'd only go in for Sancho if we was to get Champions League, but if we didn't get Champions League, then we wouldn't have gone in for the player. As far as I'm aware, Sancho has already agreed personal terms with the club, and he's agreed a 5-year contract worth around £140,000 a week. But no fee has yet come to an agreement. It did say in February that Sancho had agreed almost every little detail of move to Man United apart from the fee. I think definitely Jesse Lingard recently said that, he wants Jadon Sancho to come to Manchester United and all of that. But we have been looking at a few alternatives to Sancho, if we don't get him on the board. We've been looking at Kingsley Coman from Munich. We've inquired about getting him on loan. Before we looked at Rabbi Matondo from Schalke. We've looked at Ferran Torres from Valencia. We looked at Ousmane Dembele at one point because these cheaper solutions in Sancho. Probably will give Jadon Sancho the number 7 if he comes to Man United, because obviously we've got number 7 vacant at the moment. Sancho's still got a few years left on his current contract, but if Dortmund sell him, they'll make a huge profit on the player because Dortmund only paid £8 million in for Man City back in 2017. But analysing the performances in this few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown as Jadon Sancho's. But I think Sancho did reveal if he leaves Dortmund, he wants to come to Manchester United. I've outlined the reasons why I want him at the club is because he's well Premier League proven. Plus, he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford and all of that. And I believe now we're the only club that are in for Sancho anyway. So let's just put that into the equation. Like I said, Simon Stone the other week was talking about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga. Simon Stone says we're still confident we can get him. Fabrizio Romano a few times has spoken about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga. Christian Falk spoken about it, I think, the other week. So yeah, it's been a very, very long transfer saga as this been regarding Jadon Sancho. Really, really has. Obviously, the other month you had Borussia Dortmund CEO coming out saying that he expects Jadon Sancho to stay at Dortmund because he's convinced that no club will meet their valuation. Lucien Favre came out the other month, Borussia Dortmund's coach, and he said that Sancho could still leave in this summer transfer window. But maybe if Sancho was to stay at Dortmund for next season, maybe it would cost less than £110 million for next summer. But yeah, he's our number one priority target, and he has been our number one priority target for a while. But he says even if we complete the signing of Jadon Sancho, we want to still get Jack Grealish on the board. Now, there's been stories coming out today regarding Jack Grealish, saying that, well, this is actually stemming from Dean Smith, should I say, who's the Aston Villa boss, and he said that Jack Grealish's future will be resolved next month. On the other hand, Dean Smith said that, Villa have no intentions of selling Jack Grealish. Maybe Villa now believe he will stay because obviously, Villa did avoid relegation. I did say if Villa would have been relegated, then I could have showed that Grealish would have left Aston Villa. Now they've stayed up though, how much do you think it'd cost? Probably cost us maybe around 60, 70 million pounds, maybe even 80 million pounds. But I said if Villa would have got relegated, then Grealish would have probably been available for around maybe 40, maybe 50 million pounds at the top. Up until this point, Grealish has spent the entirety of his career with Villa, being a Villa player since the age of 6, and he's been in their senior squad since 2014. So this was his 6th season in Aston Villa's senior squad, but he spent the entirety of his career with them. I think Tottenham tried getting him in the summer of 2018, didn't get him. City have also been in for him before. Grealish can play as an attacking mid, and he can also play as a winner. So if we were to sign Sancho and Grealish, it'd probably cost us around 100, maybe 150, 160 million pounds for both of them players. But they are our 2 priority targets. Like I said, we've already missed out on 2 players at the moment under Solskjaer. We missed out on Erling Haaland, and we also, missed out on Jude Bellingham and that. But there's been so many players on our agenda. There has been so many players on our agenda. Like I updated you recently, there were stories coming out regarding the director of football, because it said that Ed Woodward wants to appoint a director of football at Manchester United, and to obviously join Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's structure. And I did say, didn't I, when we was trying to get a director of football before, that's one of the structural changes that we need at the football club. I think the recent names that have been linked with that director's role is Andrea Berta from Atletico Madrid and Fabio Paratici from Juventus. Before, Ferdinand was linked with it. Patrice Evra was linked with it. Paul Mitchell was linked with it. Darren Fletcher was linked with it. I said if we were to get a director of football, we need to recommend someone who knows the club inside out. We need someone who obviously has got that experience, blah, 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 etc., etc. So there you go. There will be more videos coming up tomorrow on my channel. There will be more videos coming up tomorrow. But like I said, fantastic achievement for Man United, like Solskjaer said, finishing 3rd and getting qualification for the Champions League. Because you wouldn't have thought that at the start of the season, the way we was playing, because we had a lot of bad results earlier on in the season. I also thought last summer, like I said on my review to the season, that we had a very, very good pre-season. I think we won all our 6 games in pre-season, if I am correct. I think we did, to be quite honest with you. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe. As always, take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.